What's up, guys? I'm Dude the Bobby. And I'm gonna be driving for this, but I will be safe. So, it's been a long time. And I think part of the reason it's been so long since I've made a video is because of the topic of today, my experience with weed and how it's affected my personality and my life. So this video is mainly for anyone out there who is struggling with contradicting thoughts of should I stop smoking, or people that have, how's it been a minute already? Get to the point, Bob. Okay, this is my story with weed. I started smoking weed in high school. I was a junior, about 16, and yeah, I was at a friend's house, and there was like 5 other friends there, and they were smoking at the park, at the playground at night, under the slide, and I was with them, and they kindly offered to share their marijuana with me, and I tried it. And I wasn't 100% like, yeah, let me just take all this in. I was kind of like hesitant, but I tried it. Then I started going to my friend's house a lot, and he had weed, and he would kindly offer me some, and I started getting the full effect of a young 16-year-old boy that's smoking bongs, and it really affects your brain back then a lot more than it would nowadays, definitely. So yeah, I would go off into another dimension, another universe, and it was a fun time. It wasn't all just fun and games. There was a lot of negative, just like hiding it from my mom. Like, it's part of the fun, like part of it's kind of like because you're hiding it and because it's something you're not supposed to be doing when you're a kid, that makes it more enticing sometimes. But yeah, so it started off with just me going to that friend's house and him generously sharing his weed with me every time. First of all, if you have any friends that keep sharing their weed with you and you're trying to stop and you like resent them for tempting you, don't hate your friends. They're just being nice and asking you if you want to smoke with them. It's a very polite thing to do. But if you're trying to quit, just try. Just say I'm good. That's been working for me. Just say I'm good, and 99% of the time they're not gonna. I mean, I might have some friends that'll be like, "Come on, do it, you wuss," and or other words. So, but lately I've just been like, I'm good, and they're like, fair enough. But so that me going to that one friend's house turned into going there more. I remember one time his dad walked in the room. It was foggy everywhere. The look on my face must have said it all. And it's funny when you're a wee lad, a little child, you think you think you've gotten, or like you think you can still get away with it until they say like, are you smoking weed or something? But there's no way that we weren't. My friend was just like, whatever, like he knows. Like I was like, don't tell my mom. So that turned into me like starting to smoke on my own. I used to volunteer at the junior high at lunch. I'd like eat my lunch and then go help the junior high kids learn math. I'd leave high school, go there, help out for a little bit, drive home when I should have been driving back to school, smoke my little half joints that I used to make because I didn't want to smoke a whole joint by myself and go back to the school. But I'd smoke half of it, go back to school, have a gym class. That turned into me smoking up my other friends for the first time. I went from, like I remember some friends would be like, Bobby, do you smoke? Like when I was a sophomore, like before I started smoking, like, Bobby, you smoke? You smoke weed? Like the one time I wore like a Bob Marley shirt, like, no, like you seem like you do. Like I just had a kind of dopey personality, but it was all innocent fun. And yeah, I think that's one thing that weed kind of messes with my personality. It's like now if I feel like I have this dopey, funny, goofy personality, I feel like guilty, like I'm on, like, oh, I must be on drugs, I must be smoking weed. And that's what allows me to have this type of personality when everyone else is like serious or whatever. I just like being silly and funny, and that's my natural personality, and I don't want that to be attributed to weed. But so that turned into me being the stoner. One day I never smoked weed in my life, and then the next, not literally, but you know, a year later or whatever, I'm smoking up my friends for their first time, and then they turn into stoners, and then now I'm that guy. And I never really felt like the stoner guy, but that's just what happens. You kind of, that does become part of your life. And you are that guy that is smoking up their friends for the first time, getting them into weed. And now they have this whole dilemma in their life of weed having it in their life, affecting their daily decisions and lives and perspectives. So yeah, high school, I was smoking by myself, smoking with friends. My mom would come home. I literally bought this new, like, little pen, got it mailed to my house. You gotta be sneaky, you gotta be watching for it in the mail, make sure it doesn't come when my mom's home. Like, the next day, I tell my friend to come over and try it. I'm like, all right, my mom doesn't come home till at least like 5 or 6 o'clock. It was like 3:30. We go to my backyard, smoke this little brand new pen. We're walking, and it takes like 5 minutes. We're walking around the house, back inside, and there's my mom, pulled up, walking up. We just scuffle inside and try to act not high, but what else? What were you doing in the backyard? Standing, talking, enjoying the weather. No, we were doing drugs. And weed is always classified kind of not as like, I mean, there's drugs that you can overdose on, like you have physical, like, addictive, like, withdrawal symptoms. And there's a huge difference between weed and meth, heroin, crack and stuff, but it is this substance that you take and you smoke and you get high, and that's what a drug is. So yeah, so college comes around, and I think I've said this to my mom during our numerous interventions or whatever, but I'm like, Mom, literally every person I meet in college smokes weed. And she's like, that's because when you smoke weed and you make friends that smoke weed and that's all you hang around with, then it feels like everyone smokes weed. But literally, I'll just meet someone for the first time and we'll connect, be friends, and then you smoke. Oh yeah, I smoke. Yeah, like every person I met on like my floor, like in my dorm in college, smoked weed. So it is very popular for all you parents out there that think that it's not as popular as it is. And I admit that most people don't smoke weed, and it feels like everyone smokes weed when you smoke weed. I'm talking about weed a lot, but yeah, a lot of people smoke weed. So if you're like me, 18-year-old kid, they say you're an adult when you turn 18, then why does the term college kid even exist? Oh, look at those college kids. The like minimum age you can be is 18 unless you're like super smart, 16 or 17-year-old. So yeah, you're still a teenager. Your brain, I'm 20, I just turned 24. Apparently 25 is when your brain fully matures, so I'm still going. And smoked a lot of weed, so I'm sorry, brain. But we'll heal, get through this. But yeah, weed's not the worst thing in the world, but this is just a video of me talking about how it's affected me and how it might be affecting you in the same and similar way, and my thoughts. So, college, smoked a lot, got caught smoking, had to pay a fine. My friend came to visit. We went out and got drunk, made it back home safe and sound, which getting drunk is not good either, kids. Arguably worse than weed, because you can die in just one night of getting too wasted. It's not worth it. But anyway, we make it home safe and sound, drunk, And then we decided we went to Chipotle at like 2 a.m. when Chipotle's closed. But we didn't think of that. We didn't think about that. So we head back out into the streets, and we didn't even make it. We're still on campus, and security comes up. You guys are running all over the place funny. Like, that's how we do. That's how we walk normally. We run around, we're goofy. But yeah, that wasn't even the time we got in trouble for smoking. We got back to my dorm drunk, wanted to smoke, as drunk people do a lot, and went out to the parking lot, got caught. We didn't even smoke. I was literally playing with 2 lighters. I was like putting the flame together and making one big one. And my friend was packing the bowl, and then right as he's going to hit it, the security lady busts us. And my friend got fined more than I did, which I feel bad for still, because he was my guest. But since it was his stuff, he got fined for that. And I almost got charged for drunk driving, because technically the car was on because it was winter. We wanted it to be warm, so we turned the car on, and he was drunk in the driver's seat with the car on. So she said she could have charged him with that, and that would have really sucked. I didn't really think about that, but now that my other friends gotten a DWI, that would have really been bad. Sorry, Kevin. That's one friend that I smoked up for his first time, and he got into it, and then years ago he told me that he stopped and he felt way better, and I was like, that's cool, dude, that's good for you, like maybe I will stop. And here I am, a week without weed. Yay. So yeah, college, a lot of weed freshman year, a lot of weed sophomore year, a lot of weed junior year, a lot of weed senior year, smoking 5-foot bongs, little bongs, bowls, vaporizers, joints, blunts. Crazy. So much time of my life has been spent on weed, getting weed, smoking weed, not getting caught with weed, throwing weed away, getting it out of my life, taking a break from weed, quitting weed, starting weed again, finding more weed, finding weed crumbs in the couch. Weed it's a problem for us people out here. So there's one, I was gonna pull it up, but I was watching one video about this guy talking about it, and one of the comments was really interesting. The video was about this guy who like tried weed on accident, and then he might have got into it a little bit, but then he stopped and was saying how like he felt better without it. And one of the comments said, you don't even speak for us, or like you don't even know like what it's like for us potheads who have been smoking every day for a year and are trying to stop. I need to hear advice from someone like who knows. I thought that was interesting how this person said he needs to hear advice from someone else. And that's why I'm making this video, because I've felt these feelings for so long. This video is like years in the making. I've thought about doing this video so many times, and all it took was me just turning on my camera and speaking truth and putting it out online. And if someone's like, you're talking about weed, that's so bad, you should be talking about drugs to the kids online, I'm trying to tell them not to do it, or reevaluate yourself, or just, I'm trying to say I'm a 24-year-old maturing young man who has dealt with weed for 8 years now, and how it's affected me. If people can relate and think, okay, this guy has been through the same stuff I have, he understands why weed is so enticing and why it makes you come back so much. And I used to argue like, weed's not addictive. This was pothead me without even knowing I was a pothead. Weed's not addictive. All right, you don't freak out when you don't have weed. You don't have like any technical, physical like withdrawals, but you do have psychological withdrawals. It affects your time on earth. You're thinking about weed, you feel like low, you don't have that dopamine. It's not like I'm gonna quit weed and then it's just out of your mind, snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. It's like this constant thing. And so yeah, weed, it's all throughout college. In my last relationship, we were smoking together. I think like the first 6 months she didn't smoke, and I think I stopped smoking for a while. I think like months I wasn't smoking, but then we started smoking, and coincidentally, maybe, or maybe not, but the next 6 months were like the worst time of my whole entire life. And the first 6 months were honestly like one of the best. So yeah, we started smoking together, and then I was like, I kind of want to stop. And she's like, all right. And I was like, I can't stop. And I was like, all right, I'm going to stop. And then I'm like sneaking it and lying and stuff and stealing her edibles when I'm feeling low and she's out of town. And that was rough. Anyway, where I am now, it's Monday, August 10th, August 3rd. I turned 24 years old. I'm a 24-year-old young man, still a youngin'. I'm a man, but I'm a youngin'. So yeah, I've gone a week without weed. And if you don't know, you don't know. But if you know, that's like what people don't understand, and why I make this video for people that are addicted to weed, because I was, is that a week without weed is like a hard, difficult challenge for some people. Because if you don't smoke weed and you're watching this, you're like going a week without weed. You literally just don't have to smoke weed. Just throw out your weed, and then you don't buy anymore. And if anyone asks you to, you say no. But when you have smoked for 8 years and multiple times a day for months straight, and then maybe 2 days without it, and then more, a year smoking every day pretty much, you're with your friend, right? You guys are best buds, and he's smoking, and you've been smoking with them for 3 years, laughing it up, having a great time, and you're conflicted about stopping weed, and he's handing it to you like a friendly gesture, old time's sake. This is what we do like every day. It's tough to be like no, because then I don't know, you're afraid they might take it personally, like, why don't you want to smoke with me? Or you might be afraid that they'll like, oh, you're too good for weed now, or whatever. And so yeah, I turned 24, literally the night before my 24th birthday. I smoked at my friend's house, and I knew, like, I'm turning 24 years old tomorrow. As a 24-year-old, I will not smoke weed, like, the whole year. But yeah, I knew that was like, guess I'll justify smoking more weed tonight, but when I'm 24, I'm changing. And that doesn't work a lot. I've tried to quit multiple times. 6+ times, more like 60 times. So yeah, I turned 24, didn't smoke that day. I've probably been asked to smoke maybe 8 times or so since a week ago, and I've been good. Not that, I've been good. No this, just this. I've been uh-oh, my poor throat. Yeah, I've been good at saying no. It's just, and it's not like some friends will give you crap about saying no, maybe. Hopefully not, but this particular friend is cool about it. He's like, you want to try this new thing? And I'm like, I'm good. And he's like, fair enough. And that's it. It's that easy sometimes. And if they do give you a hard time, stay strong, kids. If you don't want to, if you don't feel 100% okay about it, it's okay to just say, I'm good. I'm good being sober. Just want to not alter my brain right now and see how that works. The other night, I was writing a song in my bed, as I do late at night. But I just had this, not overwhelming, but like this good feeling. Like I felt good. Like I felt like me. I felt like myself. Like just 5 days without smoking, I felt like my brain, I just felt relief, and I was happy to like be myself, and that I'm okay with being myself and not using weed to enhance my life. That's the problem with weed, is the truth is it enhances your life in the moment because you feel high, you feel better. No one would smoke weed if you smoked it and then you're, oh, I hate myself. But sometimes with weed, with that lifestyle, you do have feelings of maybe I hate myself, or I wish I could stop. I want to just enjoy life, be myself without it, but I keep coming back because being high is so much better than being sober. That's the mentality. It's like I could be tripping like back when I was in high school and my brain was like, like, where am I? That was a lot more fun than just being sober, living life normally. But anything with, I mean, like being drunk is usually a fun time, but then there's times where you're puking on your friend's couch, you don't even remember, disgusting, gross, feel like crap the next day, you're damaging your body, like it's not worth it. And when you get high so much, it brings down your sober life. You can have an amazing sober life, just the way God intended your brain to be functioning at such a high level naturally, able to process all this stuff, create stuff, feel good, make other people feel good. Then when you smoke so much, it's like, man, there's a song, I hate being sober. That's like facts. That's the truth for like a lot of college kids, young adults, even high school kids, which is sad. And I want to be sober and happy. That's why I'm making this video, to inspire y'all youngins, y'all kids, or if you're 40 years old and you're still hooked on weed or whatever. This is just my experience. There's one other thing I was gonna say, but I'm so high I can't remember. I'm kidding. I feel good. 1 week without weed. Definitely gonna continue this. I think playing soccer, I'd like have to clear my throat all the time. Like, I feel like I can't breathe. Like, if I didn't smoke for 8 years, I would be able to breathe so much better. And I'm excited to see in 8 years of not smoking, hopefully, how much I can breathe. Yeah, I wasn't gonna edit this video, but now I'm gonna have to edit out me trying to think of what I was gonna say. The last week I've been asked about 8 times, probably 10 or 12 times, if I want to smoke, just because I kept seeing this friend, because he's a really nice friend, asked me if I want to come over and have breakfast. Yes, thank you for the free breakfast. That's awesome. I'm glad you're doing so well that you can afford to make me breakfast and not worry about it, and it's a nice gesture. And I don't want to have to be high for it. I just want to enjoy it. So yeah, if you have a friend they hang out with and they offer you weed, accept them, that they are in that time of their life where they're smoking weed. I was there for 8 years, so I can't knock anyone for being a pothead or whatever, because I've been there. But if they offer you weed, don't resent them. Stop asking me if I want to smoke. I'm trying to quit. Just, that's very nice. Oh, like I say like a jokingly, like, oh, that's a very nice offer. Like, thank you, but I'm good. And that's all you gotta do. And if they, come on, you wussy. Like, don't be a fish. Just be like, nah, dude, I'm good. And don't even make up a fake excuse. Just be like, I'm good. Oh yeah. So within the last week, I'm just saying I'm good, and there's no problem. Don't be scared of saying no. It's fine. Your friends will still love you if they're good friends. And I saw a friend that I haven't seen in like 6 years, and he was like the pothead in high school. He would have like bonfires. We'd all come and smoke this giant thing with like a dragon in it that shot the smoke out into all of our high school bodies. And so yeah, I saw him for the first time in like 6 years, and I knew like, all right, this is it. If I know he's gonna be smoking. I know he's gonna ask me if I want some in a kind, friendly way. And if I can say no to him, then I'm good. Then I can make it. And of course I went over there, and there's 4 guys there. They were all smoking, and this guy blows glass, makes these beautiful glass pieces, and he literally said, you gotta try it. Like, he made it, the thing, the smoke out of. And he said, you gotta try this. And I literally said, I'm good. I like looked at the thing he made and I was like, it's cool. And like, but I was like, I'm good. And he did not give me any look of, you're not gonna smoke out of my piece. No, he's a good, chill dude. Stoners are usually good people. You're not gonna lose a friendship, hopefully, by not smoking. And if you do, what kind of friend is that? Luckily, I don't have friends that only are my friends to smoke. If I don't want to smoke, then it's all good. So yeah, 34 minutes later, those are my thoughts. Thank you for watching. Peace, love, and positivity. That's not just the stoner way. That can just be the sober way. But yeah, I should post this online. If one person relates to this and it helps them, and they lasted 35 minutes, kudos to you. Does anyone remember Kudos, candy bar? Candy's not good for you either, kids. Don't be addicted to candy or sugar or weed or drinking or any of that new lean pop and molly stuff. None of that. Sober life is the new 2020, is the new cool thing. Being sober, being clear, having the best life that you can make out of your own fruition, whatever that means. Don't use drugs to enhance your time on earth. I'm not gonna tell you not to. Well, I'm gonna tell you not to. If this was me in high school, I'd say, Bob, you are a great kid. You make people's life better every day at school by just being yourself, being funny, making them laugh. So keep doing that. You know that part of you feels bad about weed, about smoking weed, feel secretive, and just think back to when you didn't smoke and you're putting YouTube videos out, you didn't care about any negativity, and you weren't ashamed of anything, and you're just living life good. That's where you want to get back to. And if you want to, you gotta stop smoking weed. Feels good. So does meth and heroin, I'm sure. Why else would people do it? But just take the extremes. Alright, from now on, either I'm gonna smoke a joint every hour for the rest of my life, just be high forever, or never do it again. I'd rather never do it again. Just think about your brain. It's an amazing thing. It's witty, make jokes, makes people laugh. Laughing until you're crying, your sides hurt. I just miss those days. And look at me. A week without smoking, and this is the first YouTube video I've made in like 2 years at least. Had a terrible year last year, but 24 will be my greatest year ever. And not smoking weed. I should stop the video now, but if I'm talking to myself, quit the weed, forget about it, and your life opens up to a million possibilities, and you're gonna feel good about yourself. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed my spiel. Steven Spielberg, burgers and fries. That is my natural brain. I'm not altered, I'm not high, just being goofy, because that's what I love doing. More YouTube videos to come. And check out my album, Journey. I haven't made it yet, but me saying that holds me to do it. So I'm gonna record that today, a song from it. Anyway, 1 week without weed, life's good. Love y'all. Goodbye.